Hello everyone, welcome back. In today's class we are exploring our healthy boundaries in the area of giving and receiving. And very often when we hear these words to give and to receive, we may imagine a situation of someone arriving with a gift, maybe nicely packed, and us having a choice to welcome it with gratitude or maybe some humbleness. And it's the same when we offer. We offer our time, we offer our skills. Yet I would like to start the class from coming to the very basic experience of giving and receiving that is happening in every moment of being. When we receive oxygen, nutrition, support from the earth, when we give our emotions, toxins, when we are being gifted by inspiration, and we are giving our words, our creativity, or our steps on the planet. And every step is causing small changes around us, in the environment around us. So let's start the class exploring different ways of walking through life with awareness of what is there that I receive and what is there that I offer. If you feel like this is a good moment also to start the playlist, if you like to move with the music, if it helps you to embody what's happening. However, if it feels like a distraction, skip it. I prepared the playlist, but and you always have freedom to go for your own music. My music is just an invitation. I will be practicing in silence to give you this opportunity to create your own background noise. Okay. My invitation is to start with one of my favorite creative walks. Inhaling, bringing arms and right knee up, reaching towards the gifts of the sky. Exhaling, crossing my legs, forward fold towards the earth, towards the gifts of the earth. And then inhaling, raising up, this time bringing up the left knee, and then crossing on other side. And now may your inner voice, inner creativity guide you through this movement. And my only invitation is to stay aware of the gifts of the sky that are inspiration, higher wisdom, and also simple nutrition like oxygen. And then coming towards the earth, becoming aware of the gifts of the earth. And may the music or the breath be your guide. And at some point you can also start walking backwards. And with the next breath, arrive into Tadasana, into your stable and grounded stand, aware of the connection to the gifts of the earth, aware of your connection to the sky and things much higher and bigger. And then I invite you for another walk, exploring balance while walking. As the topic of today's class is to give and to receive, I invite you to embody balancing of how much you give and how much you receive, by practicing to walk with this balance. So my invitation looks like follows. Inhaling, bringing my arms up. Oh, together with my right knee, that I forgot about. And then exhaling, right foot towards left knee. Coming into peaceful, focused, one-legged sit. And then inhaling towards stepping on the earth. And then inhale, repeat on the other side. And may the breath or the music be your guide here, while you stay aware of the balance between opening yourself to receive and opening yourself to give. And one more time, on whatever leg you ended up on. I invite you to stay in the balance here for a little longer. And if you are losing it, that's totally okay. That's invitation to come back to balance again. And maybe while balancing, you can invite some playfulness. How to be playful and balanced in the same time. When we talk about boundaries, sometimes we can end up being quite rigid in saying no or in saying yes. So how to balance it with playfulness, with lightness? And then come back to Tadasana and become aware of how the left side feels now and how the right side feels. Can you notice some balance or imbalance, differences? Sometimes practicing on one side is a great reminder on how things feel when we stretch ourselves in one direction. So let's now balance this experience by lifting up the other leg. For me it's left one, for you can be any other. And then let's sustain on the other side. And maybe again, looking for joy and playfulness in balancing different qualities in life. And maybe while being challenged, you can become aware of this safe bubble, safe protective bubble around you, that is always there in a form of healthy boundaries and warm light around you, to keep you safe during the challenge. inhale up, exhale, Tadasana. And there is one more way of rebalancing. Sometimes it is by our cognitive choice, but sometimes it's the other way around. Just letting go of all the control and start bouncing and shaking, allowing your body to do the job. So I invite you to, exactly, lose control, trusting the wisdom of the body. Releasing your head, releasing your palms. And slowly arriving into stillness. When I say slowly, I really mean invitation to have this transition time, to making your movements smaller and smaller and smaller. Coming back to awareness of connection with the ground. Coming back to awareness of top of your head reaching towards the sky. Coming back to awareness of the breath, of this space of constant exchange of gifts with the external world. And here, I would like to introduce you to a method that some of you maybe heard about, called Embodied Yoga Principles. So it's yoga, but it doesn't really feel like yoga. So we come into poses of Embodied Yoga Principles to embody different qualities in life and then experience them through bodily experience without any cognitive fake bullshit, if I can put it this way. Just really coming back to the body and noticing how we are in different life situations. And as today we talk about boundaries around giving and receiving, let's start by bringing your palms towards your chest, becoming aware of what's there today, what is within you today, without any judgment, just becoming aware. And then arriving into position of sharing, into pose of sharing and giving, by bringing your right foot towards the front, keeping your hips open, shifting your body weight towards the front as you actively want to give, like what you have discovered, recognized within your intimate emotional space of the chest, as you want to share it authentically and freely. So I am gently leaning forward, opening my arms to give. And I invite you to close your eyes gently here and notice what's happening now. Can you recognize the gift that you are holding in your hands? Who is on the other side, with whom you are sharing this gift with? And how the external world is reacting to the gift. I invite you to breathe into embodiment of giving. And notice, what is your tendency? Do you feel like leaning forward even more, to give more, to be noticed in the action of giving? Or would you like it rather to make it smaller, almost like this giver that is invisible, unnoticed? I invite you to exaggerate the pattern. If you are a giver, make it very big. Or embody whatever exaggeration you are recognizing in yourself. And then slowly, I invite you to shift your body weight to the back foot. So now I am leaning backwards without losing balance and still stable. I am leaning backwards. My hands are a little closer to my core, so I am ready to receive. Again, closing eyes can help you to connect with the inner experience. How are you in a situation of receiver? Do you find yourself open and joyful? Or maybe do you recognize some shame around receiving or resistance? You may like again to exaggerate your reaction. To become closely connected to your pattern. And then coming back to balanced receiving. So you are standing stably, gently leaning backwards, with your face gently smiling, your chest open. And then come back with your palms towards your chest to integrate the gift of this experience. I invite you to also bring your feet into balance, maybe bringing them closer to create more intimacy. And to help yourself integrate the gift of this experience, I invite you to send towards yourself a compassionate message for probably imperfect receiver and imperfect giver. When you are ready, gently open your eyes, release your palms, come again to stable Tadasana. And if you like, this can be a good moment to pause the video and come into a moment of intimacy with yourself, maybe a moment of journaling. Can be 30 seconds, just writing down on how you experienced yourself in a position of giver or a receiver, and how this balance and the dance between the two look like in your life. And then when you are ready, I invite you to continue exploration of this balance together with me. So I continue shifting again my balance between different corners of my feet. My body is stable, almost like a piece of wood for a moment, and I am painting circles on the ceiling with top of my head. And when I notice my body weight shifted to the left side, I bring my arms up, right knee up, arriving into a tree pose. finding a stable spot in front of you to support this sense of balance. You may like to even draw in your fingertips above you to come into this position of, I like to call it holiness, without any religious connotation. Of this beautiful connection between the sky and the ground. And then gently release your arms, release your knee. Make a few flowing movements here, as this energy and nourishment was flowing freely between the earth and the sky, flowing freely through you, without resistance, without abuse, fluid and sustainable. Gently arrive in the center. Take a second to notice difference between left and the right side. And come back to exploration of your feet touching the ground. And when you notice your body weight on the right side, raise your arms up, left knee up, arriving into tree pose. I wanted to include a tree pose in our class when we explore balance between giving and receiving, as nature, as trees, are perfect embodiments of this balance. Then they receive nourishment, nutrition, and they share life with many beings around. And they do it in a sustainable way. They receive and share, being able to do it sustainably for hundreds of years. And with the next breath, bring your left knee in front of you. And then very, very slowly, being aware of every beat of the movement, start transitioning to high lunge. So your left foot will go behind you. But you are totally in control of every beat. So we arrive into high lunge. I come to my mat for my comfort. Inhale, bring your arms up, reach towards the sky. Exhale, open your chest. Come towards the ground without touching. Inhale up, front leg straight. Exhale. And may the breath guide you in this gentle flow. And one more time. Arriving into high lunge. And by exploring connection with the ground, I invite you to bounce a little bit. Almost like a warrior getting ready for a battle. Bouncing gently. I don't know if you can can hear it, but my whole room is bouncing. There is a lot of metal noises around. Inhale your arms up. Exhale. Experiencing the power. So we are slowly coming into connection with our strong energy, our power, very often expressed in our anger, healthy anger. When people are crossing boundaries, coming too close or violating what is important for us, our values, our privacy, our needs. So I invite you to welcome your energy of life, your power, with no fear. If at any moment it becomes too much, you get scared by your own strength, slow down, maybe make a pause, take a break, come to a self-care pose, whatever your self-care pose is about. Very often, especially as women, we are not used to embracing our power, embracing our anger, embracing our energy. Maybe like me, you have been socialized into being shy and humble and sweet. And then being in contact with your own anger, energy, power can be actually quite scary. So I invite you to practice self-care at every moment of this class, but also of your life. That's the real embodying of the boundaries. And especially real embodiment of the boundaries around giving and receiving. I have a gift of a class for you. Gift of certain practices. And you can say no, that's not for me. That doesn't fit me. That's not good for me, or at least not in this amount. So I invite you to practice also in relationship to me or to this YouTube persona that you are interacting with now. Okay. I found it important to say it. Okay. And let's come back to the contact with the ground. Again, circling your feet as this kind of refuge pose. Refuge pose when we are looking for our center, for our middle line, for our balance. And sometimes making a decision to get out of balance. And this time, when you notice that your body weight is shifted towards the left, pause here, bring your arms up, your right knee up, and with the all carefulness and mindfulness of every beat of the movement, start arriving into high lunge. How slow can you be? Let's practice absolute slowness now. Arriving into high lunge, taking moments to find your comfort and your balance. Inhaling, front leg straight, look up. Exhaling towards the ground. Inhaling up. Exhaling. And while practicing this simple in a form flow, I invite you to come back to this connection between inspiration and the earth. Inspiration and the realism of the earth. And one more time, maybe even staying a little longer, looking towards the sky. Embodying this sense of inspiration that is also a beautiful gift. And then gently release your arms, coming back to the contact with the earth, and by bouncing, making the whole earth shake around underneath you. Coming to contact with your inner warrioress that is getting ready for an important battle, gathering the energy and power. You can even feel how my voice is shaking while my body is shaking too. And maybe you start noticing that while bouncing, some of your muscles start tensing, while you can still invite softness to other parts of the body. So the power doesn't have to mean being rigid, tensed. It's still a balance between tension, effort, and ease. You can even make the movements a little bigger. For me, it really feels like more effort welcomes also more softness and more ease. With the next inhale, bring your arms up. Express your power. And in the contact, staying in contact with this energy we have, at least I have activated within me. I hope it happened for you too. I invite you to slowly start coming to a wider stand and also closer to the ground. So we are still staying in contact with this inner warrioress that is maybe in a jungle getting ready for a battle. And when I say battle, I don't mean anything cruel or violent. I mean healthy anger invested where is needed. And when you are connecting with this inner warrioress, maybe there are some images from your life, from situations where you may need these qualities coming up. Where do you need to be like this warrioress in a jungle? Let's stay with her for a little longer. Coming to this wide-legged seat. Inhaling, bringing your arms up. Exhaling with power. Inhale. And may the breath guide you here. And if you would like to connect with even more power, I invite you to come to tips of your toes. So I am sustaining. Coming even higher on tops of my toes. And next time, come up and release everything towards the ground. Appreciating generosity of the earth that can take our weight anytime we ask for this relief. Let your head hang freely here. And keeping your palms connected to the earth, I invite you to slowly start circling your way towards the ground. Again, with mindfulness and control of every little beat of the movement, in control of the process. And at some point you will arrive on the right side. Your left foot is reaching towards the sky, and then transition with help or without the help of your palms to the other side. There is no good or bad. As long as you stay connected to your inner warrioress, or even to a wild animal within you. And one more time. Let's pause on the left side, reaching with your right palm towards your right foot, extending the left arm, and then transitioning to the other side. So you may notice that our inner warrioress, that she's also balancing effort with ease, moments of action with moments of rest. With the next breath, bring your palms towards the ground. May your feet come closer together. And now we connect even deeper. I think this is rather with the wild animal. Shifting the weight between one foot and the other, with the help of your hands or without. Coming to this powerful dance. And then bringing your palms towards the ground. And let's become now real wild animals, transitioning through jumping from side to side. Notice if you can do it with as little noise as possible, with gentleness, so other animals in the jungle will not hear you. And let's do it 4 more times. Slowly arrive into stillness, bringing your feet towards the floor. If your feet stay flat on the ground, that's good. If not, you can lift your heels up, that's not a deal. Bringing your elbows in between your knees. And then slowly let your hips drop towards the ground. And may your legs shake freely here. And to bring the sense of release, I invite you to just drop your legs from side to side, again with the help of your hands or without. Pausing in the center, bringing your feet together, your knees open, your palms walk in front of you. Offering the earth extensive tension, your emotions, receiving support, showing humbleness towards things that you can't control. And then gently coming to a seat. And my invitation for now is an invitation to freedom, to free flow part of our class. There is a song that I propose, but you can also choose another one. Song that helps you embody this sense of creating healthy boundaries around giving and receiving, balancing these two qualities in a way that is sustainable for you and for the environment around you. There have been a lot of different moves today, and I invite you to incorporate them, turn them into dance. Dance of setting healthy boundaries around giving and receiving. I will not suggest anything. These movements are within you. You can come back to this sense of being a warrioress in a jungle. This wild nature within you. And use her energy to set up boundaries for the modern life. I would be curious to hear how it was to dance out your boundaries and your balance. And my deepest invitation is to not pause here, but to offer your body and your mind and your spirit time of integration, time of settling everything that was maybe shaken up today. So again, trust the teacher within you when choosing your situation of relaxation and integration. You can just lay down on the ground, receiving support of the earth. You may like to curl on the floor, or maybe just move to a slower music. Whatever is your way to slow down and integrate. Listen to your teacher. I am also suggesting some music that can be helpful, but you and your inner teacher know the best which music to choose. Thank you for your trust and thank you for practicing together. May your inner warrioress touch with you. So you will be able to set up healthy boundaries around how much to give and how much to receive.